One, set, 90 Wolf.
Yeah, let's get sack lunch.
Back hard. Leo,
now the first carry here for Phillip Lindsay. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. A look at the numbers a week ago for Lindsay. He was able to topple the 200-yard mark and a rushing touchdown for good measure.
And what I found surprising, all those yards he accumulated, only found the end zone one
just
time.
once.
That doesn't even seem fair, does it?
But still, the 200-yard mark, something he can always carry in his back pocket. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield.
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked by Riley Harrison. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance, as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now, to see who can make difference.
And he loses the football a second time. And the Texans scoop it. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of...
We're going to shut you down. We're going to shut you down.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
On the ball. On the ball.
From just shy of midfield, Foles. That's caught by Howard. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Benardrick McKinney able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Foles. Short little throw. The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. Here's Foles. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sack.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
about 15 cents. Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored. Give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now the Jags with 5 in the secondary now on 3rd down.
Hey, wahoo! Check Mike 50. Mike is a 50. Check Mike 50. Get ready.
Working from the gun, Manning. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Josh Allen make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
62 yards on the punt that time. Wow. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. The partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early. But if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
Now Foles. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Ronald Darby that time, the one who got a hand in and knocked it free. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Ebron caught left side. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. All things considered, a pretty good kick, just cruel punishment there to be denied by the crossbar.
If you're going to hit from that distance, sometimes you're going to need a little luck, and unfortunately for him, this time the break goes against him.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the 1st down. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot, but what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
15 yards. The Texans pick up the first down. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. After the sack on first down, Manning with a catch made by Hopkins. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
It's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a fourth down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent gain. Now they're in fourth and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. They'll go for it. It's Manning, and he's in. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, his 21st touchdown of the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. That took a pretty big risk right there, going for it on fourth down. But, hey, not only did they get the first down, forget about that, they got in the end zone.
Yeah, because normally you're just thinking, can I get enough yardage to get it past the sticks and pick up a first down? Instead, they go for the end zone and get it done with no margin for error. Remember, fourth down, they went for it.
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus-yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Tackle made by Devondre Campbell. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. To the right side to Eric Ebron. They follow up the gain of 2. With a gain of 1 that time.
It's a gain of a yard, and it's third down.
The Jaguars on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. They're going to look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Here's Logan Cook now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Here comes Grant on the return. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. And now out comes Houston. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Get him, boys!
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They run on 2nd down with Adams. And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. Telvin Smith that time there to make the play.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. Going deep for Hopkins. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win 1st down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on 1st down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating 1st downs that way. Keep moving the football. Don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the 1st half. All knotted up at 7. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Give the sack to Barkevious Mingo, the former number 6 pick.
That was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Myles Jack with a sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Sacks, a growing theme in this 1st half. This is 2nd and long. Here's Manning to throw. He finds Hopkins complete. Now the Texans will burn the 1st of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the 1st half.
50, score.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50.
On 1st and 10, here's Manning. It's complete to Hopkins. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Manning now on 1st down. That's complete once again to Hopkins. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the 1st down. Throwing now is Manning. And he knocks the ball away and it falls. Incomplete.
For DeAndre Hopkins. Incomplete. He was defended by Jalen Ramsey.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
Hey, foxtrot, foxtrot.
50's the mic. 50's the mic. Let's get off
Get
it.
it.
Throwing again. Manning. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins in the final seconds of the first half as they have taken the lead. So they're able to break the tie just before halftime. Now they just don't want anything crazy to happen on the ensuing kickoff.
Yeah, they want to just add the extra point, get the kickoff taken care of, and get to the locker room with the lead that they fought so hard to get.
A drive that time of 6 plays, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. This is taken at his 4. And he'll make it a... The 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. This one fielded at the 5. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. To throw, it's Manning. Now he'll escape to his left. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
On 2nd down now, it's Adams. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
I know flashy plays, splashy plays, as people like to call them, that attracts a lot of attention. But let's face it, when you're efficient, that can control a ball game. And I love the game plan they've got going right now.
Back-to-back 5-yard gains. Didn't force the ball downfield. Picked it up on the ground.
Yeah, offensive line, they're getting it done.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
Now the pass, and it's into the arms of Hopkins. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
He wants it all for the end zone. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Hey, Haywood! Ready?
Manning to throw for it on 4th. He's going to loft one deep left side. Oh, man, it's caught inside the 10. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
Go! 10 over. 44. Squeeze.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Now Manning. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Jordan Thomas, the one he was looking for, but now it's 3rd and goal.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him. Find him.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of your program?
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here at half 2.
Try and get things kicked.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Markevious Mingo in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Now after the punt on that play, we've got a man down on the field. And how might this affect him for the playoffs? We'll get a report when we come back.
On the double. Go out.
You don't want none, baby. You don't want none. Hey.
Get it.
On first down, this is Adams. And a good run as he manages 7 yards down to the 17.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Go. Snap.
Again, here's Adams. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Manning to throw on 3rd and 1 toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And no field goal try here from the red zone. Offense out there. They'll go for it on 4th. They'll run with a big man. This is Adams. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the 1st. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. Step hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. One quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Now they'll throw it with Manning to the end zone, but it's incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. But it'll be 2nd and goal. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their...
And put it on the board. It's 6, a touchdown. Eli Manning. His 3rd touchdown of the game, his 8th on the year. And the Texans push further out in front.
And Brad, I think we have to look back at the big call to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, that set up everything, and the end result, the short touchdown run. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think every coach would have gone for it back there.
You and I both know every coach would not have gone for it back there. So that's showing a little bit of faith, actually showing a lot of faith in his team, and it was rewarded.
And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
To throw again on 2nd down. Foles. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zach Cunningham in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Well, Foles and the Jags now have to deal with a 3rd and long after that sack. Quick hitter here, it's complete. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Open man is Westbrook, complete. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
The catch, deservedly so, is going to get a lot of credit, but even more so because there's a defender there ready to make a play.
Yeah, just flat out muscled on that one. Foles now 5 straight completions here in this, and he will not be able to get away as Foles is taken down. Markevious Mingo bringing the pressure yet again. That's his 3rd sack here tonight. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. They run with Howard. And this Texans defense, they're all charged up now. They stopped him behind the line for the second straight play. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. He'll drop to throw. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Jags come up empty on fourth down. And the Texans take over an excellent field position. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? Hey, you want to go for it here? We shut you down? They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to face a third down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards. They're looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final. Oh, now Lindsey lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that's going to bring up a fourth down.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a third down stop by them.
And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. Made his first, this now from 42 yards out. And his kick is indeed good. And that will push this lead up to 20 now. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
Let's go.
The Jaguars offense now heads back onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build.
Just something.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go. Foles completes it to Lee. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Here's Foles. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Well, Foles and the Jags now have to deal with a 3rd and long after that sack. Now Foles. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 21. So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter, but second, third, and fourth quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you're going to win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you say baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time and the hitters get to see him, and then they come out after that and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best stuff in the first quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.
So for the Texans, the wins keep coming as this one moves them to 12-3 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, the slide